sukhādirūpā'niyamaṃ bhāveṣvālokya bhūriśaḥ śubhāśubhe vihāyāsmādahamāse yathāsukham. Observing again and again the fluctuations of the forms of pleasures, etc., in different circumstances, I have renounced good and evil, and I live in true happiness. Commentary of Acharya. An ordinary man is tempted to pursue good and avoid evil, because he is seeking his future happiness. The man of evil, pursuing diligently his evil ways of life, is convinced that he thereby can have his immediate happiness. In short, search for happiness is the spring of all activities, both good and evil. A little more deeper investigation into the happenings around us can make it vividly clear that the people who pursue the good are seen as often suffering, as the evil-minded men enjoying happily in life. So it is an observed fact that there are fluctuations of pleasure and pain, depending upon the changes in the external environments and the available circumstances around the individual. Happiness and sorrow ultimately depend upon our mental conditions. Unquote. A story can be written on this verse from his own experience in life. Prior to 2011 and post 2011. Pleasure or pain, call them good fortune or misfortune, or call them good luck or bad luck. In most of the times, they have no relation with our conduct, our efforts, our goodness, or our evil qualities. Life, like a pendulum, has been swinging on either side, joy and sorrow, pain and pleasure. At least in case of a pendulum, the timing of swinging on either side is certain, whereas life is full of glorious uncertainties. In his life, uncertainty is at the job front, at the health front, at the family front, and uncertainty about the receptivity of the spiritual sessions which he has been pouring. Uncertainties at the center he used to visit. These are the few which he listed. For all of you, there would be so many such situations in your life with so many ups and downs, so many oscillations. Observing all this, knowing that all possible oscillations can be experienced only if there is ego left out. Only with the ego, oscillations are experienced, and the good and not so good happenings and the experiences due to the happenings are experienced. A jiva, when something good happens to him, thinks that the good time would continue forever, or at least for a long time. Similarly, when he goes through a bad time, he is filled with self-sympathy and thinks that the bad time is also going to be continuing for a long period. This feeling within, in both extreme situations, is due to his ego, his impressions. Such impressions and such thinking is wrong because one never knows what all good karmas and what all bad karmas one has brought along with him in this birth. Accordingly, how much good and how much bad things are in store for him in the life, one can never be sure. So nothing, neither good nor bad experience can be taken for granted to be lasting longer. We look around the world and we see supposedly good people undergoing a lot of suffering and not so good people really enjoying their life, as we already covered in the Acharya's commentary. So, good and bad has often nothing to do with our present state of mind, our present actions, and our present way of life. It is all due to the past karmas. Is it not then foolish to think too much about something about which you are not at all sure as to how much it will continue and when things will change? Now coming to a Jivan Mukta, having transcended all impressions, all effects of his past karmas, that means all thoughts on all effects of his past karmas, even when the worst of the oscillations happen, sky falling on earth or earth superimposed on sky, such unimaginable oscillations of experiences come to him, he says, nothing of mine is lost. Nothing good or bad is cognized by me. In my state of abidance in self, he has renounced good or evil. That is what this verse says. Whereas, actually, he does not even have the thought that he has renounced good or bad. So to say, even the renuncer is not there anymore. Transcending the mind and therefore renouncing both good and evil. That is what verse says. Can we change this and say, transcending the mind and transcending the renouncing of good and evil, the Jivan Mukta says, I live in true happiness. As the blissful infinite self. Thus ends the 13th chapter titled Bliss Absolute. Hari Om Tat Sat.